BMW Cubs pregame live.
Partly cloudy, but a warm day at Wrigley Field today as the Cubs go for their 5th straight win and a sweep of the Giants. Game 2 between the Cubs and Giants gets underway at 1:20 live in HD only on Comcast Sportsnet. And we are leading you up to game time. I'm Gail Fisher alongside Todd Hollinsworth. Hello and welcome to BMW Cubs pregame live. Well, just when things were looking a little down last week, Todd, the Cubs rattle off 4 wins in a row, and that's what happens, I guess, in the game of baseball. Things can change quickly.
Well, Lou's disposition is much better. The team's disposition is much better. More people are talking to the media, and everybody's loving Cubs baseball right now. Things are going well. They look to finish up strong on this homestand. They got Tim Lincecum today. He's a tough one.
Yes, we said baseball is a game of streaks, and the Cubs are on a hot streak right now. It wasn't a high-scoring game last night at Wrigley, but it was a well-pitched game and another powerful night for Ryan Theriot. Let's take a look back at the highlights. Bottom of the second, 1 on and 2 outs for the Riot, and there he goes. His 3rd homer in 4 games after having 7 for his entire career prior to last weekend. It's 3-0 Cubs. Top of the 7th, Ryan Dempster strikes out his 7th victim of the night. He was cruising. Dempster allowed 2 runs and 5 hits over 7 innings. Top of the 8th, that's Carlos Marmo getting Benji Molina down. Then in the 9th, Kevin Gregg on in for the save. Rich Aurelia driving 1 to left center, but Reed Johnson chases it down, and the Cubs take the victory. Game 1, 4-2, the final. Now, no one's been able to stop the Riot in May. He's hitting .417 with 3 homers and 8 RBI, and he's slugging over 1,000. And with the recent power surge, his teammates are trying to figure out a new nickname for him, but so far nothing is sticking.
No new nickname, not yet.
Are you hoping for one?
Well, I wanted one. They were going to call me Delicious, but Nick Swisher's already got that one.
That doesn't seem to fit.
Well, I mean...
Not for a home run guy.
Well, Nick goes deep. So, I mean, I don't know.
You guys are creating a monster. You guys have no idea. No, I think it's been neat. I mean, I think he's got the ability to do that. I think he's concentrated so much lately on just, staying on the ball, hitting the ball. And then, then he got the okay, I guess, from the skip to kind of let it go. So he's had some success. It's been fun. And I think, it's helped us too.
Well, the Riot is one of the best nicknames out there, so I think you should stick with that. No matter what you want to call him, this is an unexpected power surge that the Cubs are certainly glad to have.
Well, I'm thinking maybe Stretch. He's short in stature, and he has been hitting the ball a long way. He's been slugging over 1,000. He's hit about 1,000 feet of baseballs here lately. It has been fun to watch. Nothing really has changed other than his approach. He's just made a deliberate willingness to turn on the ball and get the ball in the air. This is a guy who maybe before would have taken the exact same pitch and tried to hit it to right field or back up the middle, kind of understanding his role on the team. Lou gets in his ear a little bit and says, hey, listen, you can bring us a little bit more, and we're getting it right now.
Well, Theriot said he changed his approach just a little bit, and it seems to be working. Now, despite being hot, Theriot is getting the day off today, along with a lot of regulars. With more on that, let's go live to Wrigley Field and bring in Kip Lewis. And Kip, Lou going with a makeshift lineup today against the reigning NL Cy Young winner.
Yeah, Gail, not surprising, though, the Cubs in a very good mood here this morning as they get set for the Giants. As you mentioned, they've won 4 consecutive games, hoping to make it number 5 before they head out on the road and take on the Houston Astros. And yes, as they get ready to head out on the road, Lou decides to give us a little bit of a surprise with some interesting lineup changes. Not something we will probably see very much this season. Let's take a look at it. It will be Joey Gathright in center and leading off. He will be followed by Aaron Miles at shortstop. Then it's Kosuke Fukudomi, Derek Lee. Micah Hoffpower will bat 5th and will be in left. Fontenot is at 3rd, and Bobby Scales, the 31-year-old just called up from AAA Iowa, will make his first big league start at 2nd. Coy Hill will be behind the plate. Sean Marshall on the hill. But the great story is Scales making his major league debut here this afternoon.
I'm just going to play, man. I'm not going to... I waited too long and worked too hard to get here to get bogged down and be tight now. That's just the way I look at it. The game's the same. It's going to be a little quicker, obviously. Different guys who know what they're doing. And, hopefully I can adapt quickly.
We saw Scales all spring. We're basically pretty attuned to what he can do. We'll get him in there and get the nerves out of the way right away. I like to play people when they first come up from the minor leagues. First of all, they're sharp. Oof. They're getting a lot of at-bats. And there's no sense keeping them sitting too long where they lose their effectiveness. So we'll get them in there and let them play today.
And that Cubs lineup will have their hands full today. The Giants will send last year's NL Cy Young winner Tim Lincecum to the hill. The right-hander is 2-0 in his last 3 starts with a 1.57 ERA. He had a tough outing in his first start, but obviously very solid since then. The Cubs know they will get a big challenge here at Wrigley this afternoon.
I think you got to go out and look for a pitch out over the plate. Hope he makes a mistake, and hope you don't miss it. And I think if you get to him early, I think that you can. I think everybody always says see pitches, take pitches, and this and that. I said, well, I mean, I think that if you get a pitch out there over the plate, you better take full advantage of it when you get it.
He throws well, really does. Well, he's a Cy Young winner last year, but we got to be patient with him, make him throw pitches, and go from there. He's tough, no question. But Marshall pitches the way he pitched the last time out, 2 runs, 7 innings. We got a chance to go out and win a baseball game.
And Lou also added that there will be no Carlos Marmol or Kevin Gregg in this game today. Aaron Heilman will close if that situation arises. But it will be an interesting game, guys, just to see how this lineup performs against one of the best pitchers in the National League. That does it from here live at Wrigley. Gail, let's go back to you.
All right, Kip, I'd certainly say so. Enjoy the game, and we'll see you afterwards. Everybody getting the day off today. Well, here's a look at today's starters. It is Sean Marshall against Tim Lincecum. The Cy Young winner struggled in his first 2 outs of the year, but has been solid over his last 3 outings, posting a 1.57 ERA with 33 strikeouts and just 4 walks. Todd, what makes Lincecum so unhittable?
Well, he's got a very deceptive. Not only is the stuff good, not only is he bringing mid-90s heat and a vicious curveball, slider, call it what you will. It's got a lot of movement, a lot of tilt, but he throws across his body, which is very unusual. Most pitchers are looking for fluid delivery. He pitches across his front side. He crosses himself up. He hides the ball very well. So that 95 looks like 100, 102 when it gets up there to the plate. And when he's on and throwing strikes, he can be as nasty as anybody in the game. The Cubs are going to definitely have their hands full today. You see what Lou has done. He's put so many, you get the switch hitters in there. You get all of his lefties. I mean, he's emptied it out. He's looked at today as a twofold day, the ability to get some guys some starts, some guys their first big league game. I don't know if Tim Lincecum's where you want to go with it, but at the same time, he's put all his lefties in the lineup outside of Derek Lee, and it's going to be an opportunity. Of course, if Lincecum gets in one of those grooves, it's a completely one-sided. He's facing all left-handed hitters, so hopefully that won't be the case. But I think the way you break him down is if he comes out and he's a little bit wild, and you can get his pitch count up and hopefully get into that bullpen, you will definitely have a chance to beat him. He has the propensity to be wild at times. Again, throwing across his body the way that he does, he's one of the best in the business.
Welcome to the big leagues, Bobby Scales. I'm sure he'll do fine. Also tough for guys like Joey Gathright just to come in this lineup against one of the best in the game. All right, as for Sean Marshall, he's been solid in his 3 starts this season, not allowing more than 3 runs in any outing. And last Thursday, he allowed 1 run over 7 innings against Florida, but got a no decision as the Cubs ended up losing that game 8-2. Now, Todd, it seems he keeps getting better with each outing, and hopefully he'll be even better today.
Well, he has, and he's got a great opportunity today. And this is how I see this game breaking down. Sean Marshall, if he comes out there and duplicates what he did last time out, he is going to have a lot of success. San Francisco Giants offense, 3.5 runs a game, worst in Major League Baseball. They are not getting, they're not scoring runs. They've got no offense outside of their 3 and 4 hitters in Molina and Sandoval. They really have not been doing anything. So this is a tremendous opportunity for him to go out there, take control of this game, and put up goose eggs, and get this game, lengthen this game out a little bit, and that's kind of how you might beat Lincecum. If you can break him down, if you can lengthen him out, and maybe turn this into a battle of the bullpens.
Do you think a guy like Marshall, or any pitcher for that matter, they think about the opposing pitcher at all? It's not necessarily, most of the time it's the hitters have to worry about Lincecum, but does it get in your head at all as a pitcher?
No, I don't think that it really, and I think that most pitchers will tell you that it doesn't. Of course, they say, what's the head-to-head matchup? He's going against Tim Lincecum today, and number 1 for the Giants, reigning Cy Young winner. That is interesting and that's intriguing, but, you know, he's facing their lineup. I mean, I think the only concern he has is facing him as a hitter. But at the same time, I mean, he knows that he wants to bring his A game today against a, you know, a Giants lineup that has struggled so far this year, and that Tim has been very, very tough for the most part, especially here of late.
I know we both were a little surprised with the lineup today. Some guys getting some rest, and Luke Piniella is very much a numbers guy. He looks at the numbers. So yes, Ryan Theriot has been hot, but his numbers against Lincecum maybe not as good. Is it hard though to stop a guy who's been so hot and then and sit him for today?
Well, if it were me, I'd want to be in there today. But Ryan may have nothing. He may have nothing to do with it. I mean, the lineup goes up, and that's the way it goes. Sometimes you can go into the manager's office and talk him out of it, and sometimes you can't. But I mean, there's a reason. There's a method to the madness, so to speak. But this is a good opportunity. The team's been playing well. They've had a good homestand, kind of regardless of what happens today. Yeah, you want to get that win and go out on the road feeling good about yourself. At the same time, you've got an opportunity to get some left-handed bats in there. Some guys haven't had a chance to start here lately with the good run. He's been running pretty much the same lineup out there here for the last 3 or 4 games, so it gives some guys the opportunity to play. Unfortunately, it's against Tim Lincecum today, so it should be fun.
All right, well, we'll find out. We're just getting started as we take you to the top of the hour. The Cubs got some bad news yesterday about Big Z as they placed him on the 15-day DL. What does that mean for the rotation over the next 2 weeks, and who needs to step it up in Zambrano's absence? We'll discuss that next. And as we head to break, here are the National League hitting leaders. The Mets' Carlos Beltran leads the league with a .400 average this season. The Reds' Joey Votto is second, and Manny Ramirez is third. BMW Cubs pregame live continues after this timeout.
Cubs Pregame Live is brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana area BMW dealers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Performance now is all about logic. That some cars cost as much as $1,500 to maintain is one thing. That others cost even more is quite another. That a BMW costs you nothing to maintain defies all logic whatsoever. And in turn, makes it the most logical choice of all. Performance now is the 3 Series. Now you have more options to get the BMW you've always wanted.
Okay. No, you don't need, we don't need it. Yes, next week.
Just for Men takes 5 easy minutes, targets only the gray hair, and can take you to a more interesting place.
Who's that? My husband.
Just for Men.
If ever you're not satisfied with one of our tires, please feel free to bring it back. Thank you. Discount Tire Company.
Low prices, more choices. Discount Tire.
Do something about this heat.
Big ass pulling.
Yeah. We're at 5th now.
Be right there.
Don't just trust anybody to cool you down.
Those fellas sure were fast.
Call 4 Seasons Heating and Air Conditioning at 866-4Seasons. For all the right reasons, 4 Seasons.
Yeah, you know the spot.
Right away, sir.
Welcome to Giordano's. Your table's ready.
Thank you.
How's everything?
Fantastic.
What's your secret?
It's the fresh ingredients, and it's been so for the last 30 years.
We made it good. You made it famous.
You're watching the home of the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox. Comcast Sportsnet.
Happy Cinco de Mayo and a happy birthday to my niece Helene today. Cub fans, it's your last chance to see the Giants live in person. This is San Francisco's only trip to Chicago this season. A short 2-game set, and the Cubs could sweep it with a victory today. But they'll have to get past Tim Lincecum to do it. Well, the Cubs' string of no players on the DL has run out. Despite some minor injuries, the Cubs didn't have anyone on the disabled list for the first month of the season. But now in the first week of May, Carlos Zambrano has to go on the 15-day DL with a strained hamstring. Now, this happened Sunday, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. So how serious of an injury could this be for Big Z?
Well, they said it's a grade 2, which is somewhere in between not serious and really serious. It warranted a DL trip, and we feel kind of responsible around here talking about how nobody had ended up in the DL in April, and bam, a day later, somebody's on the DL already. But, you know, Carlos's shoes, you can't fill them. You can only hope to, you know, cover up, you know, his absence. And I think this is, you know, this will be a good test for this, not only this rotation, but this bullpen. You know, I think what's kind of ironic, you know, Big Z goes on the disabled list, and they call up a position player.
Yes, exactly. So I have to ask then, it's an obvious question. Is it too much of a risk for Zambrano to pinch hit, to run all out and do some of the athletic things he likes to do? You know, he got injured during a bunt. Should he save that energy for the mound? I mean, this is the difference between the American League and the National League. I mean, he's going all out all the time.
Well, my take on this can kind of be summed up in this last week, what Carlos has kind of gone through. Now, when you typically use a pitcher, you know, occasionally to pinch hit, that's one thing. But Carlos had been, you know, he'd been suiting up and ready to play. He'd had his spikes on pretty much every game this, you know, this past week, this homestand. He was pinch hitting on a regular basis. Now, my question is he preparing himself to play? I know from experience as a pinch hitter and a guy who comes off the bench at times that it is just a complete rush. You come in the 7th inning, you're not working into the game in the 1st inning, in the 2nd inning, you're running out playing some defense or watching your team hit and kind of getting into the flow of the game. When you pinch hit, it is, you know, 40,000 people, here you come, key spot in the game, just bam. And it is a big adrenaline rush in your body. You feel that energy, and you shut it off real quick. As soon as the pinch hit's over, if you're not double switching and coming in the game, it's done. Now, Carlos has been used on a regular basis now as a pinch hitter. Are his legs and is his body prepared for this? And because, I mean, that's a question that they're going to have to address, because if he's going to continue to do this and pinch hit on a regular basis, he's going to have to prepare himself differently between his starts in order to keep his body and his legs ready. It's not the actual act of laying down a bunt and beating it out to first. I mean, hamstrings can happen, and that's what happens to players over the time. But most strength and conditioning guys will tell you it's the long haul, it's the grind, it's going through it on a daily basis, and that's what Carlos has been doing lately. Is he's been out there on a daily basis. He's been firing his legs every day to play the game, and then he's been resting, and then he's coming back. He pinch hit the day before, you know, before his start. So, right. I mean, it's definitely something that can be brought up and discussed, and if he's going to continue to do it, he's going to have to continue to keep his body in good, you know, keep stretching and getting himself in good shape on a daily basis, not just for his starts.
Well, they do have Bobby Scales up for now, but they will call up Randy Wells at the end of the week to help fill his void in the rotation. And the Cubs can only hope he recovers quickly, and that leads us to today's poll question. Which Cubs starter needs to step up the most in Carlos Zambrano's absence? Ryan Dempster, Ted Lilly, Rich Harden, or Sean Marshall? Visit CSNChicago.com. Go to the Cubs team page to vote. We'll have the results after the game on Lowe's Cubs Post-Game Live. The Cubs have a chance to sweep the Giants today. We'll see if Sean Marshall can battle Tim Lincecum, and we'll hear from Lou Piniella on today's game right after the break on BMW Cubs Pregame Live.
Cubs Pregame Live is brought to you in part by Menards. At Menards, you'll find big lumber yards, big selection, and big savings.
Keep trees and shrubs protected all year long with Menards. Bare Concentrate Tree and Shrub Insect Control kills insects and prevents new infestations for up to 12 months. An easy-to-mix quart is only $14.98. Fix up your lawn with all-natural AmTurf Ultra Lawn Patch. It includes premium grass seed, natural fertilizer, and mulch all in one easy-to-use bag. It spreads easier and absorbs moisture faster than any other combination product. Just $6.88.
Save big money at Menards. There's something big happening at Nissan. Look closer. It's the Nissan National 10 event. Right now featuring Nissan Maxima, the 4-door sports car. Get premium sedan sophistication with 290 horsepower performance and exceptional value. Just $299 a month. Get to your Nissan dealer fast. When the tents come down, this deal will end. Look closer. Nissan delivers.
CSNChicago.com is giving you exclusive access to your favorite Chicago sports team with blogs, expert analysis, special behind-the-scenes videos, and more. All from your favorite Comcast Sportsnet personalities. Only on CSNChicago.com, a fan's best friend online.
What does family mean to me? It's laughing, it's loving, it's spending time letting my kids be kids. I'm so glad I went back to school, and now I have a great job in the medical field. And the one course a month schedules made it convenient. My new career affords me the time to spend with my family, and kids are only kids for a short time.
Call Brown Mackie College Moline today at 1-888-803-8696 and start training for a new career in the medical field.
The latest Turtle Wax breakthrough in car polish is Clear. Crystal Clear Turtle Wax Ice, a clarified synthetic carnauba that performs like no other polish or wax. Ice leaves no white residue on trim or in seams.
I had no residue whatsoever. It was perfect. Clear and deep, really brings out the shine.
Ice is so advanced, you can use it in the hot sun with outstanding results. Now, your choice is Clear. Crystal Clear Ice from Turtle Wax, world leader through innovation.
Live weeknights at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. And now it's time for the Stay in the Game Hold of the Day, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color.
Here is a look at our Just for Men Hair Color Stay in the Game Hold spotlight. Carlos Marmol has been one of the top middle relievers in baseball over the last couple of years. Since the start of 2007, he has 52 holds. That's third most in the National League, behind the Padres' Heath Bell and the Arizona's Tony Pena.
Just as these middle relievers keep their team in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men Hair Color.
Another gorgeous day at Wrigley Field. It's the Cubs and Giants Part 2, and the final game the Giants will play at Wrigley this season. The Cubs will try to sweep the series as they battle Cy Young winner Tim Lincecum. A tall order for the 6'7" Sean Marshall for the Cubs. Well, the Cubs have won a season-high 4 straight games, and as I like to say, undefeated in the month of May. That makes for a very happy Cubs skipper. Lou Piniella spoke to the media a short time ago. Here's what he had to say about his team's turning things around this month.
Our main people here that are struggling or have struggled, they're going to get better. And if they don't, it'll be tough on us. But we fully expect them to. And Derek's gotten some big hits for us here in the past few ball games. We need to get Bradley going with the bat. We need to get Ramirez in the swing of things. He's missed some time. Soto, we need to get his bat cranked up too. So we get these guys all hitting a lot better. The way they've done their whole careers, we should start scoring more runs with consistency.
If you get into their bullpen, all these guys, possibility of getting into a ball game here?
Oh, listen, they're all available to play. Yeah, I mean, there's no question that if San Francisco goes to a left-hander, for instance, or whatever they do, everybody's available to play.
Tough to sit a guy like Theriot when he's rolling like that.
Look, it's tough to sit anybody, but the fact remains is that nobody's going to play 162 ball games, and I said that we were going to rest people coming out of spring training, and we've done a pretty good job of it so far. The only 2 people that played every day here have been Theriot and Soriano, and we got to give. Theriot's not going to play 162 games, so let's forget that. So, is it tough? It's tough not playing Bradley. It's tough not playing Theriot. It's not tough not playing Soriano and Soto and Ramirez. But what are you going to do? I mean, you gotta pick some time, and today we chose to pick some time, and we'll go from there.
Lou, you insinuated yesterday that maybe Marmol and Greg might not be available.
They're not available today. We're not going to pitch them. We'll close with Heilman and set up with the rest of our bullpen. They're pitching 5 out of 6 games. It's early in the season. I mean, there's no sense in pushing the envelope too much, and we're not going to do it.
All right, Lou Piniella being cautious with some of his relievers. He mentioned the pen here. They've been solid since the beginning of the month, posting a 2.19 ERA, and opponents are hitting just 140. Once again, Kevin Gregg and Carlos Marmol won't pitch today. The rest of the bullpen then needs to keep throwing well. Aaron Heilman will be the closer if the Cubs get into that situation.
And it's a very good situation. I mean, it's a very good possibility that the situation will present itself if Sean Marshall goes out there and does what he's been doing. There's a lot of reasons why that just may happen today. The bullpen has been doing great, and I think it's a direct result of this team starting to function properly. They're getting the highs and the lows out of there. They're getting more consistent on offense. The starting pitching has been a little bit more consistent. They've been good, but they've even been a little bit more consistent, and that takes the pressure off the bullpen. The bullpen's under the pressure that the game dictates to them. Early on in the season, close ball games or blowout games, so it's been all or nothing, and so when things are breaking down in the bullpen, they're breaking down everywhere, and everybody's watching it. The good thing that you've been seeing here lately as the Cubs offense has been coming out, getting leads early, starting pitching's done very well, and you're turning over 2-3 run leads to the bullpen, who, you know, this allows these guys to find their slots, find their spots, know where they're going to come into the game, know when they're going to be used, and get guys days off and days of rest, just like you heard Lou talk about.
Well, unfortunately, the pen has been used a lot, so he has to be a little bit cautious with some of these arms. It is only May. If he didn't sit them today, he'd get criticized in September when they're all tired. All right, we're going to take one final timeout. After the break, Todd gives us his keys to completing a 2-game sweep of the Giants. That's next on BMW Cubs Pregame Live.
Okay. No, you don't need, we don't need that. Yes, next week.
Just for Men takes 5 easy minutes, targets only the gray hair, and can take you to a more interesting place.
Who's that? My husband.
Just for Men.
Do something about this heat.
Big house calling.
Yeah. We're at 5th and out.
I'll be right there.
Don't just trust anybody to cool you down.
Those fellas sure were fast.
Call Four Seasons Heating and Air Conditioning at 866-4Seasons. For all the right reasons, Four Seasons.
I'm Faye McClure, Vice President of Strategic Marketing for Farmers Insurance. Farmers is proud to be the sponsor of diversity programming on Comcast Sportsnet. To learn more about our diversity initiatives, please visit iChooseFarmers.com.
CSNChicago.com is giving you exclusive access to your favorite Chicago sports team with blogs, expert analysis, special behind-the-scenes videos, and more. All from your favorite Comcast Sportsnet personalities. Only on CSNChicago.com, a fan's best friend online.
Update your bathroom with great products from Menards. Start with a new vanity from Magic Woods. This 24-inch white 2-door vanity is great for any bathroom. Just $169. Finish your bathroom with a new Elger toilet. Complete models perform great and have everything you need in one box. The Callaway round front is only $98. The Diplomat round front is just $139. Dedicated to service and quality. Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Remember, as soon as the game ends, Todd and I will be back for Lowe's Cubs Post-Game Live. We'll break down the game, look ahead to the upcoming road trip, and bring you post-game press conferences from Wrigley that's immediately following the game. And hopefully it will be a Cubs victory. Todd, what are your keys to the game?
Well, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. It's going to happen today. National League Cy Young Award winner is on the mound, Tim Lincecum. It's going to be a great test for this Cubs offense today. Left-handed hitters, you got some bench players in there. I think it's going to be an exciting day for them. them to get some opportunities to show the Cubs fans what they can do. Number 2, take advantage of the scuffling Giants offense. 3.5 runs a game, worst in the major leagues. Great opportunity for Sean Marshall. This Cubs defense, they play some sound defense, get some good pitching. I think it'll play itself right into my third point, which is battle of the bullpens. I really firmly believe if you can keep this game close, it's going to turn into a battle of the bullpens. Late in this game, you may just find out. I know it's a day in which Marmol and Gregg are going to be out of there, but I think it's going to be a good test for the bullpen as well, because if Sean Marshall, like I said, continues to go out there and do what he's been doing against this Giants offense that has been struggling, it's going to be a close ball game.
Other guys are going to have to step up. All right, that's going to do it for this portion of the pregame show. Len and Bob continue our coverage from Wrigley Field. Todd and I will see you afterwards. Time to send you to the north side. Here's Len Casper and Bob Brenly. Guys?
Gail and Todd, thanks very much. Bob, I got here about 9 o'clock this morning and actually was pretty warm. Didn't have the jacket on. The sun was out. Overcast now, cool wind blowing in.
Kind of like a day in San Francisco, isn't it? If we had some fog blowing in off the lake, you'd feel like you were at the Golden Gate Bridge.
Let's check out the highlights from Game 1 of this 2-game series last night here at Wrigley Field. Cubs coming off a 3 out of 4 series victory over the Florida Marlins over the weekend. And Ryan Theriot continues his home run surge. 3rd homer in 4 games, making it 3-0. That was a 2-run shot in the second, tying his career high already in a single season. Cubs are up 4-1 at this point, and the Giants get their 2nd run of the night as Aaron Miles unable to turn the double play. They did get the out at second, but that's a Benji Molina force out and an RBI. Ryan Dempster was really good. 7 innings. This was his best start of the year, Bob.
No question about it. Great rhythm out there on the mound. Was throwing strikes with all of his pitches. Aggressive early in the count. That looked like vintage Ryan Dempster.
Kevin Gregg threw a bunch of pitches again in the 9th, but he got it done for his 2nd save in as many days, and he got a little help from his defense for the 2nd straight day. Reed Johnson on the run out in deep left center with a tying run at the plate, retiring Rich Aurelia. Cubs win. They make it 4 in a row. Good to see this team get hot at home.
No question about it, Lynn. The fans have been so great in the early going this season, sitting out in the rain and the cold weather. Had a beautiful day yesterday, and they rewarded them with a win.
All right, we're going to welcome in the newest member of our Comcast Sportsnet team down on the field, and he has an interesting story about the newest Cub. Let's send it down to Kip Lewis. Hi, Kip.
Hey, guys. Thank you very much. You know, Len and Bob, you guys have been successes your entire lives, so this may be a little bit difficult for you guys to understand, but follow along with me. Imagine being 31 years old, working your entire life towards one goal and never knowing if you'll actually ever get to experience that. Well, that is the story of Bobby Scales. He is up here with the Cubs now for his first chance at the big leagues. I had a chance to talk to him about getting called up and getting a chance to play here at Wrigley Field.
It's fun. I mean, you know, got a lot of it out of the way. Actually, the other day when I was kind of here but kind of not, you know, it was interesting. But yesterday was real. You know, it felt real and it was awesome. So now, hopefully, you know, whenever it's my turn to play or whatever, do whatever I need to do, and I'll be ready for it.
What have they said to you about being here?
I mean, not a lot, really. I mean, I know what my role's going to be. You know, pretty much off the bench. You know, if need be, I don't. You know, I'm not going to be starting hitting third. I know that. So, you know. I know my place, but I'm just glad to be here, and I've said this all along. You know, I really felt like I could, you know, help a big league team, you know, win games in some capacity, and I'm getting that opportunity now.
Is that what it's all about for you? I mean, you feel like, hey, if I get enough at-bats, enough chances, I can show what I can do and maybe get a chance to stick?
Yeah, sure. You know, like I said, you know, that's what's kept me going for, you know, obviously this length of time. The feeling that I could, you know, help a big league team in some capacity win baseball games, and I really believe that. I truly do. And you know, that's why we're here. So now it's just day by day now. Whatever they need me to do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it well.
How much does maturity play into that? Because, you know, you're not a 21-year-old guy, and you've got some experience, and maybe you know how to control your emotions a little bit better.
I think it definitely helps with my mindset. You know, I think, you know, I'm in a different place in life. You know, I'm 31 years old. I'm married. I'm, you know, kind of settled down, and you grow up. I'm grown. I got a wife and a mortgage. You know? so I'm not worried about some of the little smaller things that maybe some younger guys would be.
Now, that was before the lineup was posted on the board. You heard Bobby say he did not expect to be starting. He was going to play any role he could. Well, eventually the lineup went up on the board. He found out he was in the starting lineup, so I went back and checked with him just to get his thoughts and his emotions on seeing his name in the Cubs starting lineup today.
I don't know. You know, I think it'd be a better question to ask me after the game, you know. I'm just going to play, man. I'm not going to. I waited too long and worked too hard to get here, to get bogged down and be tight now. That's just the way I look at it. You know, the game's the same. It's going to be a little quicker, obviously. Different guys who know what they're doing. And, you know, hopefully I can adapt quickly.
So you sending a text. Who is that text to?
Oh, my wife. Yeah, so, you know, I told her to remember today's trash day. Take out the trash, so.
All right, thanks, Kip. Good stuff. Bobby Scales batting 7th. Won't be easy today. He'll face the reigning National League Cy Young Award winner, Tim Lincecum. More on today's starters as we continue.
Guests on Cubs Pregame Live receive gift certificates to Harry Carey's legendary Italian Steakhouse, located in Chicago, Rosemont, and Lombard.
If ever you're not satisfied with one of our tires, please feel free to bring it back. Thank you. Discount Tire Company.
Low prices, more choices. Discount Tire.
There's something big happening at Nissan. Look closer. It's the Nissan National 10 event. Right now featuring Nissan Maxima, the 4-door sports car. Get premium sedan sophistication with 290 horsepower performance and exceptional value. Just $299 a month. Get to your Nissan dealer fast. When the 10s come down, this deal will end. Look closer. Nissan delivers.
This quote of the week is brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich, in business for over 30 years. For an insurance quote for auto, home, life, or business, please call Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich at 847-825-47.